You know when YouTube resubscribes you to channels you unsubscribed from, for one reason or another? Yeah, for some reason I logged onto YouTube to find my subscriptions full of people I had unsubscribed from. Mind you, after 2017 that's probably half my subscribers now. Well, it's not going to be like that now. I freshened up my channel, I've got a new channel name, and now I'm going to review My Little Ponytails. This episode starts... By the way, did you know Hasbro recently copyrighted all of my videos? And I mean, manually copyrighted them. Hasbro, tell me, do you bleed? Before you answer no that I don't give a fuck. Anyway, the gang are having a picnic when it starts to rain. Did any of them look up at any point to see if there were any grey clouds before setting up their picnic? That's usually a sign that it's going to rain. The gang collect their stuff and head back to the tea house, but Sweetheart hears something.
Oh my gosh, your leg is hurt. Huh, looks like a little pony has to help a little frog.
And with that, Sweetheart has completed her transformation into Fluttershy. The gang take the frog to the vet and... I don't entirely know what the procedure is, but shouldn't the vet phone the Ponyland equivalent of the SSPCA and have them deal with the frog? I mean, it is a wild animal. Or does the vet think the frog is a pet?
Well, good news! Your frog's fine. He had a stress fracture of his tibiofibula, but he should be hopping around like new in a few days.
He gives the frog back to Sweetheart, telling her to take the splint off in 3 days. Because of course, you wouldn't catch any diseases from taking a wild animal home. Oh, and the gang are now calling the frog Spot. 5 days go by, and Spot still isn't jumping around. Can anyone guess why that is?
Oh my gosh, we forgot to take off the splint.
Bear in mind that Bright Eyes says she's going to be a doctor. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't trust a doctor who forgets to do something for 2 days. Oh, what's that? I forgot to give old lady Janice her life-saving medication? They take the splint off and Spot starts jumping around. So if he's better now, then shouldn't they release him back into the wild? But no, they discuss who should take him until Bon Bon says that she'll look after Spot. Spot gets out, and there's so many wrong images. And I don't mean my usual sort of wrong images, I mean frog on a cooker, frog in a blender, stuff like that. Bon Bon takes Spot to Starlight. And is it just me, or does it look like Bon Bon says, "That's good," when Starlight is meant to be talking?
That's good. That's good.
Bon Bon leaves Spot with Starlight, and once again, he gets out and causes a problem. Here's your Froggart. How has Starlight not been fired yet? Although it's kind of weird for a George Arthur Bloom episode to stay so consistent. I mean, I'd have thought that a typical episode by him would have the gang nurse Spot back to health, and then the Fire Nation attacked. Let's derail this fucker.
My little pony, apocalypse pony, punish mankind for their sins. I'm pestilence pony. I'm famine pony. Yay, war pony. And I am death pony.
But seriously, in the tea party, it started out with the gang finding an abandoned house to have tea in, then they sang a song about boys, then the episode turned into Home Alone, before they invited a boy into their club who never appeared again. Whatever happened to Logan? The next day they're at class, and they still took Spot with them. What did they do with Spot during the 5 days he was in the splint? And why can't they do that now? For some reason they suddenly need to take him everywhere they go now that he's better, and then he gets out and causes chaos. Like here where he gets into Miss Hackney's drink before she discovers him.
Well, I commend you for your good deed, but removing creatures from their natural habitats is not a very good idea.
But...
No but, sweetheart. I suggest you return the frog to where you found it and set him free.
I think that's the first thing Miss Hackney said that isn't completely stupid. Hello? What do you mean they blew up the Death Star? Who's they? What the hell is an aluminum falcon? Yeah, I've been watching Robot Chicken. Next wow, they actually do release Spot into the wild. And not some half measure like they put him into an animal sanctuary or release him into their back garden so they can visit him every day. Or they release him and he ends up coming back. No, they actually release him where they found him and he goes back to being a wild animal like he is. And of course this doesn't happen.
Time to fly, little birdie.
Come on, Gary. Let's call a truce, yeah? Start over, okay? Yeah, good lad. Whoa!
Also, what's going on with Bon Bon's head? And that's Gribet. These last few episodes have been quite strange. I mean, we have a George Arthur Bloom episode that's decent. I think if My Little Ponytails had more episodes like this, then I doubt it would have the bad reputation it has. Or at least the bad reputation that it's perceived to have. Because from my research, people either tend to pick out the bad episodes like Shop Talk and Stand By Me and say that the whole show's bad, or they watch the whole thing and say that they like it. Some of the comments I got on my earliest videos in the Tales series said that it was a guilty pleasure for them. My Little Ponytails could crack out the good episodes when it focused, like in The Play's a Thing, or Birds of a Feather, or this episode. Which makes this quite a hard episode to criticise. There are some animation errors and leaps in logic, and of course it doesn't teach anything. If you stretched, you could say it teaches kids that wild animals belong in their natural habitat, but that would be a stretch. But either way, it's hard to say how to improve a good episode. Hopefully the last 4 episodes keep up this improvement so I can praise it more. And that should be all the changes done to my channel. Unless Hasbro tells me to stop using Sunset Shimmer in my videos.